It all started in my final year of school. I had always considered myself careful with who I trusted, but there was one friend I thought I could share anything with. We'd known each other for years, laughed together, studied together, shared secrets. I had other friends, which I believed they were my closest ally. That day, we were sitting together during lunch, talking about everything that had been happening in school: exams, friendships, the pressure of the final year. Our conversation drifted to personal challenges, things we were struggling with but rarely admitted. I realized there was something I had been carrying alone for months, a worry that I had never shared with anyone. For some reason, in that moment, I felt I could finally let it out. I trusted them, and I told them something deeply personal, something I had never told anyone before. I watched them nod, smile, and promise me that it would stay between us. I felt safe, almost lighter than I had in weeks. But things weren't perfect in our friend group. For weeks, I had been clashing with one of my other close friends over the smallest things: borrowing notes, seating arrangements in class, even petty disagreements during group projects. Our arguments started out silly, but each one piled on to the next, and before long, it felt like we were keeping score, each trying to prove a point. One day, during another argument, the tension boiled over. We began revealing secrets about ourselves, little confessions and frustrations, like some twisted game to get the upper hand. Later that week, one of my other friends, someone who had always been observant and kind, pulled me aside. She told me she had noticed how my fights with the other friend had been escalating and that it wasn't like me. She reminded me that I was usually a calm, friendly person, someone who cared about peace and didn't like conflicts. She said it wasn't too late to make things right, and that maybe apologizing could help heal what had been broken. Her words hit me hard. I realized she was right. I had let something small get way out of hand, and it had changed how people saw me. At that moment, I promised myself that I would apologize to the friend I had been arguing with, that I would set things right and show that I wasn't someone who held grudges or caused chaos. But before I could act, before I could even find the right words to apologize, it happened. In the middle of another lunch break, during a heated exchange and the usual playful confessions that had become a habit in our friend group, my closest friend revealed my secret. The one thing I had trusted them with completely, the thing I had never wanted anyone else to know, was shouted out for everyone to hear. By the time I realized what had happened, everyone in the cafeteria had heard it, and the whispers spread instantly through the school. My secret was no longer mine alone. I couldn't believe it. My stomach sank. My heart raced. Everywhere I went, it seemed someone was whispering, giggling, or staring. I wanted to disappear, to hide in a corner, but there was no escaping it. My other friends tried to console me, but I could feel the distance growing. Trust, I realized painfully, had been broken. For days, I replayed that moment in my head. How could I have been so careless? How could I have assumed my closest friend would keep my secret? I had learned a lesson I never wanted to learn this way. Trust is earned, not freely given. Months passed and the whispers faded, but the memory didn't. I grew cautious, guarded, and wary. I started choosing my friends more carefully, testing them with small things before I shared anything significant. That one betrayal had changed me, but it also shaped me into someone wiser. Now, when I think back, I understand that not everyone deserves to know your deepest thoughts, your vulnerabilities, or your secrets, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I stopped trusting completely, I just learned to trust wisely. Some lessons are painful, but they stay with you forever. And that was the day I realized the person you trust the most can sometimes hurt you the most.